Let everybody gather in here. Let's give it another minute. Like if you would, everybody. Like if you would. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Like and share if you would. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across and the world. This is Texas Biker Radio number 494, OG.
Getting close to 5.
Oh, man. On my flight back from Las Vegas last night, I listened to podcast number, I think it was 140, what did I say, 149?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, anyway, it was around that period of time. And it's interesting because that was about in 2018, I do believe. And we were at the fourth Waco rally.
Well,
about that time.
Waco happened in 2015.
Yeah.
And we were running waves hot and heavy.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to download that podcast and we're going to play it as a throwback video for everybody to listen to because it was a Blog Talk Radio podcast. And I'll add some video to it, some type of video, maybe of the protest or something like that, but the sound will be the podcast. And it's interesting because John Bostic was in that. Rest in peace, John.
Yeah, he's passed away.
Yeah, and he was one of the guys early on in Sons of Liberty Riders.
He was one of our earlier members. And at one point in time was vice president of the club. Yep.
Yes, he was. And so, anyway, it'll be interesting for everybody to hear what was going on at that time and also where we were then and where we're at today because it's quite interesting. And I'll let you guys, whenever we play it, it'll take me a few days to put it together. Whenever we play it, it'll be up to you to listen to it and see if you can tell how far we've come since then. And then we'll talk about it after it's played.
Hopefully we haven't regressed.
Yeah. In some circumstances we have. That's for sure, everybody. That's for sure. But we will do that and put that together and have some fun with it. And so, OG, let's talk about the gang database. Now, at Texas Biker Radio, we have a link on the front page where you can go to check and see if you're in the gang database. That's texasbikerradio.org. Now, for you guys in Texas, realize that when you go to check and see if you're in the gang database, they're going to try and discourage you from continuing because they're going to send you a message back that say they do not have enough information. This has been happening because I've been getting emails on it. And I will tell you right now, you will need to give them your ID and your social security numbers. Now, you have to realize they already have all this stuff. They already have it. They're the Department of Public Safety. They already have this information. So it's going to be nothing new. And it will not get you put into a gang database. If we find out that's going on, there's going to be all kinds of hell.
Well, let's describe the hell.
Yeah.
At our last COC meeting, we started to talk about a war chest.
Yes.
Actually, the subject was, as bikers, we need to quit being what I would refer to as low-hanging fruit for law enforcement.
Yes.
We've been too easy. They seem to be able to kick the community around quite a bit. And basically it's been because of the culture where bikers typically don't file reports.
Right.
Don't call the cops. Bikers are pretty passive about that. They just they don't want to keep being picked on, but they don't want to provoke. Well, if you look at what's happened through time, taking into consideration things like Waco,
right,
all the profiling that's going on, now the abuse of the gang database, it's just getting worse. And it goes to show that we can't just lay down and take it. We have to push back. We have to start fighting. Now, we have a legal advisor that's with us with the Texas Council of Clubs and Independents. His name's Bill Smith. Bill has basically offered his time, pro bono. All we need to do is cover filing fees. Thus, the term you'll hear often now is the war chest.
Yes.
We found out that in order to file a lawsuit of, I'd say, fair magnitude,
right,
the expenses would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000, probably could go to $5,000.
Yes.
If it got hairy enough, like some of the lawsuits that flew around up in Chicago over the database, those expenses got to $30,000 or $40,000, but I think that was a lot of attorney fee.
Right.
And Bill's talking about pro bono. What we need to do is we need to find the right case to file on, the right biker to back.
Right, and that's the reason we are asking you to go check and see if you're in the gang database if you live here in Texas. Or even sometimes if you don't, like we had with the case with the writer from New Mexico, where he was in a Texas gang database, and he had never been in trouble with the law. He was turned out to be an outstanding citizen, and they have drug him through hell trying to get himself out of gang database. And let me say this to the general public out there: anybody can be put into a gang database. Anyone. If you happen to go to an event where there is a certain club, or even the vicinity of a certain club, they can take a picture of you, of your license plate or whatever else, and you end up in the gang database without even knowing it. And that has happened. Now, when you're put into the gang database, they don't inform you that you're in it. They don't give you any due process. They don't do any of that. They don't have to. They don't have to follow their own rules. Anything I missed there, OG?
Well, yeah, Bill's talked about the fact that there are rules and guidelines that they're supposed to be going by. If you were placed in the gang database because you were in a gang, or you just got out of prison because of gang activity,
well, let me state, a real gang.
Yeah. If you are free of paper for 5 years, they have to take you out of the gang database.
Yep.
Or let's say they're supposed to. We have talked to many individuals that have discovered they were in the gang database. They have been fighting like hell to get out of it, and they're still fighting.
Yeah.
Some have been successful, but it seems to be costing a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not something the state's going to pay for. So, that being said, we have established the war chest. The war chest will be funded by folks like you that are willing to donate. And incidentally, I would like to thank publicly tonight Christopher Gage and Jason Schubrock. They've both made contributions to our war chest and actually were the first ones to add to it. So
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
And let me point out, guys like you and me.
Yeah. We're not, you don't have to put a ton of money. I mean, $5,
Yeah.
$1. Just go to texasbikerradio.org, hit the donate button. Please, when you do that, designate the term war chest.
Yeah.
So we know where to set that money aside. We don't want to use it for TBR activities, things like that. That is supposed to be only for legal expense. We will also be going to the clubs and members of clubs and asking for contributions from them. We would like to build that war chest up to at least $5,000.
Yeah.
So we can file one hell of a lawsuit and start harassing law enforcement.
We got to fight back, everybody. We don't have to be complacent. We don't have to wait for the next legislative session.
And thank you, Jerry. Jerry's mentioned that he's donated.
Okay.
And he's prepared to donate more. So.
And let me say this, everybody. We are gonna. We're going to do everything we can, including filing complaints. Now, this is very important. If we find out, and you have to help us find this out, who the bad officers are out there. And yes, if you get stopped, if you get harassed, if you get profiled, file a complaint, especially if there was no probable cause for the stop. File a complaint against those officers that may have stopped you just for profiling and nothing else, or made up some reason to stop you, like stopping over the white line, failing to give a turn signal, this, that, the other, when you did it. And also at the same time, be taken to jail maybe over stuff that the general public does not get taken to jail for, like being on or over the white line. And if you think we're kidding about this, this has really happened. This has really happened here in Texas, and I'm sure it's happened around the country. Don't be complacent. File complaints against these people. And many of them, if they get enough complaints, they can lose their immunity that they so cherish. Don't put up with it, everybody. Don't put up with it, is what we're saying. And yes, give them your driver's license number, your social security number, when you check to see if you're in the gang database, because they're going to ask for it, because that's what they're going to say. We didn't get enough information for you, because that's what they're going to ask for. So let's be bold and go after them, is what we're saying. Right?
Absolutely. We've proven that doing nothing just brings it on.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, and what we do on this channel, we talk about bikers' rights. We talk about all this stuff that's going on in our community when there is enough going on. And like we said, that a lot of times there's not much to report, because we're not going to report what problems clubs are having with each other. That's not our bag. our bag is the constitutional rights of bikers and everyday citizens. We're defenders of the Constitution, and those who've had their constitutional rights violated, that's when we step up. And there's no shortage of that going on, no matter who you are. No matter who you are. But yeah, we do get around to the news of the day like we're fixing to do and talk about other things like that's going on in our cities, in our states, in our country. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly right now, OG, is Fort Worth, Texas. The school board over there. Now, I would suggest to you, if you have a child in public schools in Fort Worth, that you get their asses out of there. Because it's nothing but a propaganda machine at all levels. Is what it is. And the superintendent over there will tell us to go to hell. No, they don't care what we think. At all. At all. And OG, it's time to bring Alice Linehan back. I will contact her this week so she can tell us what's going on. And she has a severe problem with one of Governor Abbott's appointees. The guy that's in charge of the Texas Education Agency. He's at the forefront of all this crap that's going on. And that's who Abbott selects to head up that agency.
Well, we kind of know what Abbott's all about anyway.
Yeah, we do. We got people. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll be talking about the border.
Right. No, parents need to understand there is one hell of a quick way to get back at a school district, to really show your wrath. And enough parents, if they band together and do this, can severely hurt the school district. All you need to do is start pulling your kid out of school.
Exactly, everybody.
The schools get a certain amount of money per head, per day, for every student that is in school. If the student is not in school and is absent, there is no money forthcoming to the school district. So parents, wise up, band together. You can have law enforcement has their blue flu days. Yeah. You can have some kind of a flu day for the kids.
Get with the other parents and start your blue flu days.
That's right. Band together, strike back, push back.
Nothing like hitting them in the pocketbook, guys. Nothing like it. We know that strategy works.
That's right. You don't have to get in somebody's face necessarily.
No.
If you think out the strategy and think it through, get the data, understand what's going on, you can hurt people effectively without ever getting violent whatsoever.
Exactly.
You hurt them right in the pocketbook.
And then you organize with the other parents and vote these son of a bitches out. Vote them out. Tell them you've had enough by your vote. And it's coming sooner than you think, everybody. It really is. As these days click off, it's getting closer and closer. Make them pay is what we're talking about. Not only with these suckers in the gang database that sit in these fusion centers and most of the day and sit on their asses making decisions and stuff that affect your life that you may know nothing about till you go to get on an airplane or go to get on a military base or some other crap like that, or get stopped and taken to jail over it. is what I'm saying. And I know I switched gears a little bit from the school board back to the gang database, but I had to get it in there, OG.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll bring Alice Linehan back pretty soon. I'll send her some messages tomorrow and see if we can get her back on the show. So everybody watch for it. And I'll try and make it for next week.
Look, the schools do need to be targeted.
Yeah.
If you look at what's going on right now with these snowflakes and idiots that have just graduated from school not too long ago, and the attitudes that they have and the way they're acting, it was because of what was being taught them in the school district.
Oh, wait a minute. Up in Portland, the teachers are saying, hey, we don't need school on Fridays.
Yeah.
We don't need schools on Fridays. They're trying to get themselves a 3-day weekend.
There you go.
Weekend.
There you go.
So let the students teach themselves. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
So, hey, if we're going to do that, let's just get rid of them all, and we can have animated teachers on the computer.
Yeah.
You know? Just get rid of them. No health care, no paying them, no nothing. People that are making animation things, got more jobs for them.
Yep.
Just saying, everybody. Or maybe get a robot up there to teach. That way, hey, you don't have to pay them crap. And they don't complain. And they don't strike. And they don't wear vagina hats.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That's what I'm saying. But the schools are out of control, OG. It's the main point, everybody. And as Forrest said there, he's so glad his kids are grown and they're out of school. Now, I am too, but now I have grandkids.
I was going to say, you got to ask the question, are there grandchildren?
Yeah.
That's just as important.
And I got one grandchild now that is a teacher. And after her first year, she's had enough. And of course now she's up there in
well, that's because she's a conservative.
Yeah.
Which is rare.
Yeah. But what she's doing now, being that she's living in Seattle with her future husband, who works for Microsoft. So you can imagine.
Just keeps getting worse.
They're called dinks because they're kids.
Yeah.
They don't have kids. They're called dinks. So everybody up there is classified, is in different classes. They're branded a certain thing. If they have kids, they don't have kids, whatever else, everybody is classified as something. But she's substitute teaching up there. Now, they are in, around that campus, that's an affluent neighborhood. That's not Seattle proper.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. They're in La La Land. That's where they're at. And they are bombarded with it every day, everybody. Bombarded with it. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. But maybe they'll get Fridays off, like Portland. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll keep following that. Kind of interesting. Hey, let's go back and visit Kenosha, because you notice it's not in the news at all.
Well, maybe the town isn't, but the kid is.
Well,
you heard he got rejected by Arizona. He wanted to do some online courses with the University of Arizona.
The students raised hell.
The students rebelled, said they did not want a murderer in their school.
Why would they make that public? Why? The kid's got some thinking to do about what he's going to do, what he can do, and he needs to sit back and collect his money and then decide what he wants to do.
And where he wants to go live.
That's right. All that is a little bit early, I do believe.
Yep.
I do believe. He needs
but
to.
That's just a sample
Yeah.
of the mentality that you have to deal with now.
Yeah.
With this younger breed that's up and coming.
Well, they will come after you.
They're soon to enter the corporate life. That's if they get a job.
That's it, right, if they get a job.
That seems to be the new trend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't go to work.
And the job they may take will not be a job at all.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of their degrees, the companies that hire them don't trust their degrees anyway. That they're real, that they actually studied, that they actually didn't buy their degree, which I have a feeling many do, especially if they've got
Oh yeah, if they
the
got
money,
the bucks, you bet.
Yeah.
And if you agree with the professor.
Oh yeah. If you're good, fall in line, a good little communist, say, look, you're gonna be pushed to the front of the class. Or if you're not white, maybe.
Yeah.
Some of them seem to have that going on, is what I'm saying. But what I'm talking about is Kenosha. It's basically out of the news because it doesn't fit the narrative. I'm talking about the parade.
Okay.
Or have I got the wrong place?
Well, there's Waukesha.
Waukesha. I had it wrong.
Yeah.
Waukesha. Okay. Everybody, I'm sorry.
Kenosha is the town that is south of Milwaukee, very close to the Illinois border.
Yeah.
That's where the American Motors Company used to be.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
Bad for them. Anyway, yeah. What was it, Waukesha? Waukesha. Yeah. Now that has disappeared from the news because it doesn't fit the narrative, you know. Nobody's asking about that guy's history.
I did see a little blurb on Newsmax tonight, a little banner on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The individual that crashed into the crowd and killed and injured all those people.
The SUV did it.
Yeah. He is now claiming that he's being dehumanized.
Dehumanized.
That's what he's claiming.
Yeah. So he went and crashed into a bunch of white people. He's a Donald Trump hater. He's a white person hater, from what I understand, dribbles that we're getting.
He's
and
a Trump
nobody's
hater.
talking about it. Yeah. And he took his vengeance out. It seems to me that the little things that are leaking through on white people.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
That was no accident.
Yeah.
That didn't, there were just way too many people injured and killed. He used that car like a guided missile.
Yes, he did. But then you jump to the shooting today, or yesterday, in Oxford Township, Michigan. A 15-year-old walks into the school. Matter of fact is, I think they'd had a parent meeting earlier with the kid and the parents. And I guess he walks out of that meeting. He had the gun at the meeting. He walks out there and starts blowing people away. His fellow students.
Wonder why he didn't pull it out during the meeting.
I don't know. I guess because his parents were there, maybe. So he takes a gun his dad just bought. I think it's what's it called? Sig Sauer?
Sig Sauer?
Yeah. He takes that pistol out and he goes around and starts blowing away classmates. I think the last I heard was 8 that were dead.
I've got a personal theory.
Yeah, go ahead.
As to how these kids are capable of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's twofold. The first issue is these video games that they're allowed to play, where And I mean, there's a lot of blood and gore in there. It's pretty realistic.
Yeah.
You can kill and kill and kill, and there's really nothing personal about it.
Yeah.
It's all on a video screen. So if you take a look at the thousands of hours that a lot of these kids spend with those type of games,
Mm-hmm.
and you couple that with the fact that we are now in a society where there are little or no consequences. Look at what's going on with the smash and grabs up in the San Francisco Bay Area, other areas of the country, the laws that are being broken, the laws that are being broken by our White House,
Mm-hmm.
that we're no longer a nation of laws.
Right.
There are no consequences. If they went back to killing people, capital punishment. In fact, they ought to, at this point, we need a shock value. We need to go back to the point where they have public hangings. You take your family with a picnic basket, and while you're picnicking, your children witness the hangings. And they begin to understand. I mean, it sounds crass, cold, and cruel, but if your children don't understand, and these other animals that are in society, if they don't understand, you have to get them to understand that if you don't quit screwing around, we're going to kill you.
There's no consequences to anything, they think. There's no consequences. And so they see people getting away with this stuff, including politicians.
Yeah.
Who get away with stuff again and again and again and again. It just keeps on going. That's the reason we have grab and go. That's the reason we have criminals being released onto the streets to rape and kill again.
That's right.
There are no consequences. And yeah, I think you're right, OG. We have to show people there are consequences to their actions. There are. Because I will tell you this much, our community will not get those kind of breaks.
To me, it's a basic law of physics.
Yeah.
For every, what is it? For every action,
there is a reaction, yeah.
There is an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
I like the word equal.
Yeah.
Okay? And, hey, the Arabs didn't have it so wrong. If you stole, you got a hand chopped off.
Isn't it funny now? That kid gets no bail. And we got one here just locally, a black kid, by the way, who went in and tried to blow away fellow students there in Mansfield. And his intent was to kill everybody. His intent was to kill, and he's walking around on a $25,000 bond and an ankle bracelet.
Yeah.
Now, this is a kid that took a gun to school with intent to kill. It's what I'm saying here. He should be in jail. No bond. Just as if he killed somebody. But I guarantee you the punk is running around bragging about it. I guarantee it.
And for our Christian brothers out there, and I say this with the most respect. A lot of people talk about, that the Bible says that thou shalt not kill. Well, that is not what the original Bible said. In the original Hebrew, it says, thou shalt not murder.
Ah.
Now, there's a difference between killing and murdering. Murder is with malice, and you're murdering something or someone that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
You've taken a life that was inappropriate. If you kill something, you're killing it to eat it, or you're killing it because it deserved it, or it needed to be killed. There's a difference. And if you don't believe me, look that up. The original translation, Hebrew translation in the Bible was, "Thou shalt not murder." King James changed it to "kill."
Oh, by the way, the kid was 15 years old, and today pleaded not guilty. I can't wait to hear this defense, everybody. I can't wait to hear it. So, wow.
Just another Chinese fire drill.
All right. Do we want to kill YouTube at this point and go to Rumble if we're going to talk about the Omicron?
Well, yeah, if it's going to get YouTube's panties in a bunch, we probably need to.
Everybody, we hate to do this. We hate to do this. And is there anything else you want to bring up before we switch to Rumble? Now, you can go to the front page of TexasBikerRadio.org and finish the program right there, because we're fixing to talk about the Omicron. The Omicron virus from hell.
Now, Biden refers to it as the Omicron.
Yeah.
Frickin' idiot.
The potato head is all over the place, everybody. He is all over the place. And the thing about it is, we can't continue on YouTube if we're going to talk about this. And Dr. Fauci, who in my book should be in prison right now, and China should be paying consequences.
That was openly discussed today on the open air.
Oh, really?
China should be paying everybody in the world for what they
should
caused.
Be. Yeah. Hey, they're manufacturing everything. Why shouldn't they pay?
And Fauci should be in jail.
Yeah.
Or she should be up against charges.
Fauci and some of the other people in the NIH that were in on that funding, is what I'm saying.
Yep, he lied to Congress.
Yeah. Now, I think we can go that far so far. But the media today, there are people in the media today that are saying, hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. And that's what we're going to be discussing here for about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
All right. You guys on YouTube, we will, if you don't switch over, we will catch you next week. And also, I'll be coming back on with some short stuff in between. Watch for it. They'll come on quick. With that, everybody on YouTube,